The beginning of the story has a big concert with the participation of local celebrities. There is also a famous singer named Minghan, and he also a main character in this movie. When the concert was over, he came backstage and he was very supportive. As for the woman wearing the black shirt next to him, her name is June, she is Minghan's general manager. While he was dressing up and changing his clothes, fans and members of the media stormed into the room. They came in to meet and get a signature from Minghan. He was so smart he grabbed a security guard to change his clothes and walked out to evacuate. Not to be noticed, but fans stared and wondered why this security guard was so handsome. Suddenly, the security guard told via ICOM that Minghan took my clothes and did not know what he intended. And the fans heard and shouted that this security guard was Minghan. They arrested Minghan, and he was run so fast. Because he is a famous celebrity, everywhere he has a lot of fans, he runs to his car. The manager arrived on time. They were both very happy to have escaped from the journalists and supporters. He also changed his clothes and sat down to drink wine as a happily. Suddenly, his car hit a woman, causing them in the car to be very scared. But a woman stood up and raised her hand to indicate that she was okay. And she named as Suen, she is a main female character in this movie. The manager immediately got out of the car and went to see her, but she was not injured. But Suen, she was worried about her musical instrument, so she took the harp and tried to chasing it. Her music sound made Minghan feel excited and happy. When he got out of the car, he saw a lot of butterflies flying in front of him, then his mood was very beautiful. Then he shouted at Suen, "Hey, please stop, did you see a butterfly like me?" But Suen turned to look at Minghan, who looked very surprised, and she said, "I did not see anything." After that, she rode away on a bicycle, but Minghan seemed very interested in her at the time. And he also knew that she was studying at a music school because the name of her school was written on the instrument. When he arrived at the bedroom, he could not sleep well, and he was seen to miss the girl. The next morning he called his close friend, who was a guitarist. A man named Saibo. Minghan asked Saibo to study at that music school. But in fact, he wants to meet and flirt with Suen, because they are both musicians and famous singers. Then he went to meet with the costume designer, how to make sure all his clothes so that no one remembers him as a star. It took a long time, she still could not choose the clothes to please him, and finally he chose one for each. And that scene is like a countryman just coming into the city. When he arrived at the school, the people in the school laughed and wondered about their clothes. Even the baby saw her cry, but it was so good that no one noticed. They then went to a traditional concert and Minghan sat and watched intently. But his friend fell asleep on his shoulder, suspecting that it was too sweet. Suddenly he heard the sound of the harp he used to hear, it was very sweet. He also looked for the person who chasing a harp. That woman is the person that he is looking for and wants to meet. Not long after, they both came to register for the music school. They also met with the principal, who is Suen's father. At that time, the director asked, "What kind of musical instruments do you know how to play?" They immediately began to play music for the director, but they did not play the traditional style, they play as a modern style. Because they are contemporary singers. The principal thought they were not residents of the area, so he asked where they were from. They both did not know what to say. Suddenly, Minghan saw a nail fall under the table. Minghan, he is very smart, he replied that we are from the nail house. The principal was very surprised because he had never heard of this village before. Saibo immediately took a lot of money out of his bag and put it on the table, so the principal could not deny his desire to study here. The principal agreed to let them study here and they walked to the bedroom. But Saibo does not want to live here because the room is small and has 2 bunk beds. But Minghan grabbed him and said, "You must be here with me." They went out to hang out on campus, and the manager called Minghan. The manager asked where the two of you were, nearing the press conference and why you had not arrived yet. Minghan replied, "Ask her to help me solve this problem. I am now in the hospital because I have an injury." In fact, he was walking away from work. Minghan suddenly saw Suen. She is handing out leaflets to select those who join her camp for rehearsals. Suddenly a man came out and he was the senior student in the school. He is also a well-known musician and his name is Mo Wang. He also came out to teach the students who were playing music how to play to get the mood right. He also used his fingers to play the harp, making everyone around him applaud. When he came back to class, it was a coincidence that the teacher chose Minghan, Saibo, Su-en and Su-en's friends as one group to practice acting. Then Minghan saw Su-en sitting alone in the training room, so he came to shake her hand to be friendly as a first acquaintance. After chatting, they rehearsed the music together. After the rehearsal, they came out and continued to talk and question each other. Not long after talking, Minghan's car came to pick him up at the gate. In order not to let her know, he tricked her into turning back and he quickly ran into the car. Upon entering the car, Saibo asked, "Is it okay? Are you successful?" Minghan replied that there was no success, "We just started to get to know each other for the first time." Minghan, he also returned to his normal work is recording commercials with his collaborative partners. But some of the work was cancelled because he had to meet with Su-en to practice music. At that time, Su-en told Minghan that he should study with the senior students. When he arrived in, Minghan was kicked out by the older student. Minghan was kicked out by the senior student until the senior student said that he was really annoying. While they were eating together, the senior student walked over and said to Su-en, "Stop this man from coming to me. Because this guy is so annoying, I can't do anything." Su-en replied, "I told Minghan to meet you because I want you to write the song for me." Hearing this, the senior student laughed and he agreed to help Su-en because he seemed to be interested in Su-en. Everyone loves Su-en because she is beautiful, polite and lovely. While eating, Minghan and Saibo overheard the other students talking about tonight's concert. And the concert was starring Minghan, but the senior student did not like Minghan's performance. As for Su-en, she replied that I also do not like pop concerts. Su-en's friends also said that it is true that the singer does not seem to be famous. She also said that the star is not in love with women. After hearing this, Minghan was so angry that he got up to shout, but he forgot to think that he was only a student at the school now. He pretended to say something else, making everyone there really wonder. After eating, they went to the room to practice the song. At that time, the senior student also gave 2 tickets to attend the concert. Unbeknownst to him, the person he was giving the ticket to now is a famous star. After that, the concert time was arrived. While visiting, Minghan told Su-en that he went to the bathroom for a while. But he actually changed his clothes to perform on the stage. Su-en then asked the senior student why Minghan went to the bathroom so long. "I went to Minghan for a while, I was worried about him." Su-en immediately went out to find Minghan, so Minghan told Saibo to play the guitar in front of him instead. He went to change his clothes to come back to see her. Looks like the time was really shocking. When he returned to his seat, Minghan asked Su-en how was performing. She also replied that she did not know because I did not see. Minghan also asked, "What kind of music do you like to listen to?" She also replied that I like to listen acoustic. After hearing this, Minghan went to the bathroom to change his clothes and came up on stage to play the acoustic piano to please the woman he loved. The manager wondered why Minghan acted differently from the show. When he finished singing, he stood up to pay his respects and thank the audience. He then saw the senior student holding Su-en's hand, and his face lit up with fire. The next day, training arrived, but Minghan did not pay attention and played inconsistent music with his teammates. After training, they walked out of the room and Su-en asked what happened to you today and why you were not like you. You seem to have no feelings in your body. While Minghan heard this, so he told her honestly. Because yesterday I saw the senior student holding your hand, which made me feel so bad. Hearing this, she laughed and replied to him, he looked at my hand for playing music. After hearing this, Minghan was a little relieved. The next day, Su-en wrote a song and sang it to the senior students. The senior student did not finish listening, so he got up and told her that such writing was not right. Suddenly, Minghan came in and played the piano with a song that Su-en wrote for everyone to listen. As for Su-en, she now seems to have feelings for Minghan. Being together like this, then the principal, who is Su-en's father, ran to tell. This concert is really difficult because people nowadays do not like to listen to classical music, they mostly like to listen pop music. At that time, Minghan also said that if so, we invite Minghan to join. To the surprise of the principal, he said that Minghan did not participate in such a small event, because he is famous star. Minghan also said, I promise I will be able to bring him to join. Everyone in the room was wonder and the principal asked, how did you call him? Minghan also replied that I had met him in the bathroom, I trying to contact and invited him to join. Hearing this, the director was very happy and fully believed in Minghan. Su-en and Minghan walked out and thanked Minghan for doing everything to help her father. And Minghan, he did not respond, while at Su-en, she gradually became interested in Minghan. They continued to talk for a long time, and then she said that the first time I met you, I already have faith in you. Su-en, she also took off Minghan's glasses and she kissed Minghan, which made him feel really fresh. They both came and sat under a big tree, she slept on his shoulder, and their love began to grow. They stared at the stars until they fell asleep under a tree until the morning. After waking up, they said goodbye to back home. Also that day the manager arrived at the school and she met with the principal. She said that she is the mother of Ater. Her children really like music. As for Minghan, he was very happy. He ran to his room when he opened the door and surprised because the manager in that room. The manager had already seen Minghan's dress, and she really laughed at what she saw at the time. Meanwhile, the principal walked by and heard them talking. Let the director know that Ater is actually a famous Minghan singer. The principal wondered why he was pretending to come here to study, so he told his daughter about it. He asked his daughter why she was in a relationship with the celebrity, and she laughed, thinking her dad was joking. But her father still insists that he came to love ordinary women like you. Su-en didn't believe her father. Cut to Minghan and the manager, they are talking in the car. The manager tried to talk about the work that planned to be done, but Minghan replied, I want to live the life I want, do not put too much pressure on me. The manager also continued, what about the past 5 years, have I ever upset you? She also made a face of resentment with Minghan. Minghan also apologized for what he said. The manager said it was okay. This is probably the first love that came from your heart. It's really beautiful in life, I understand what you want. That day was when he had to meet with his fans were huge. Su-en then joined and walked over to Minghan. But Minghan pretended not to know her and asked her what her name was. She replied with tears in her eyes that you did not know me, but I did know a man named Ater. She was so angry that she threw the music CD in front of everyone and walked away. Seeing this, he ran after her, but could not because she rode away on a bicycle with tears in her eyes. That night, she was heartbroken by what Minghan had lied to her in the past. She used scissors to cut her harp, because she was so heartbroken. Tomorrow is the day that Minghan has to leave to perform abroad, but his face looks very sad, because he could not go to help her. Coming back to the principal, he was sitting in his room, very complicated. Because Minghan did not come to help, but Su-en told to her father because he was busy, he did not come to help us. The time for the concert came, and the principal took to the stage and announced to the crowd. Sorry to the audience, today Minghan was not present, because he busy to going to abroad. I really so sorry to all you guys. Minghan, on the other hand, was in his car, but he thought this was not the way to the airport. Then he realized that the manager had actually taken him to a concert at the music school. He was really happy. The concert also began with a performance by a senior student. Minghan also arrived at the venue, but suddenly he could not open the door because it was locked. He went upstairs to where the concert was taking place, but he was not careful. He also came down with a red curtain, almost crushing him. Suddenly, the audience was really surprised that something would happen. He immediately opened the curtain and the audience cheered for his presence there. Suddenly, Minghan sang a song accompanied by a traditional orchestra, which really excited the audience. As for Su-en, she was really angry with Minghan, so she left. Suddenly, Minghan sang a song written by Su-en. She stood still and listened to Minghan sing. After hearing Minghan's voice and making my heart feel like it was raining, I calmed down. She walked out for a while, and then walked back in while Minghan was playing the piano. She also asked Minghan if you had seen the rain. Minghan wondered and replied that I did not. And this is a time when Suen thinks that Minghan did not leave her alone. They both agreed once. Minghan got up and hugged Suen. The audience applauded the two. And congratulations on their love. They began to love each other from then on. Live together happily, despite the surveillance of journalists, they do not care. The couple's life is really happy.